vlog, man. Welcome back.
So this is the long and awaited labor and delivery story. This is us talking about why Samia was in the NICU, why she had to go to the NICU, etc., etc. So this has been long and awaited. You guys have been patiently waiting. We're here now to go ahead and tell the story.
Having your baby in the NICU is a very challenging situation. It was very challenging for our family. It was hard, but we got through it. Definitely. So
for all the NICU parents out there, not just the moms, all the NICU parents, we feel you. We were in your shoes. We know how that feels. It's not a good feeling. But we also want to show our appreciation and thanks and gratitude to all of the NICU nurses. We just want to express our empathy, our gratitude again, because you guys deal with new emotional parents day in and day out, and the ones that did show us sympathy, to all the nurses, specifically to us at the hospital we were at, that just was impeccable, just out of this world. I just want to again say thank you for taking care of our baby, because yeah, that was not an easy situation to go through. So, and we got Samia right here in her swing because she didn't want to stay asleep for her nap, so we gotta do what we gotta do. So this is the backstory. So throughout our entire pregnancy, Samia was measuring smaller. So Samia is what you called a UGR baby, something restricted growth. Y'all, please don't. It's all in my phone, but quite frankly, that's a lot of notes I have to go through. But Samia was measuring small the entire pregnancy. So since our first ultrasound, we've been seeing the specialist. So we've been seeing the regular OB and the specialist. So every week, Samia, every time we saw her, Samia was measuring small. There wasn't anything abnormal about Samia. It was just, she was just measuring small. And that is the reason why I probably carried so small. She was always in a lower percentile than the percentile she should have been in. What else was going on? I think that was mainly it. But
that was mainly it. She just wasn't getting all the
nutrients that she needed because of I had what you call a marginal placenta. So if I know some people, if you went through the situation, you know what that is. So basically, just briefly, the placenta wasn't in the middle, so Samia wasn't able to, the nutrients wasn't going directly to Samia. So Samia was fighting really hard to attain the nutrients that she was able to get. So that's why basically she was measuring small. I had Samia around 8 o'clock. What was 8:14?
Yeah, it was 8:14.
8:14 p.m. Had Samia, got induced at 37 weeks. They said she's fine. She was fine. She just made it to where she wasn't premature? Not premature, underweight. So she just made it to where she didn't have to go to the NICU. So she went upstairs with us. We got to spend the night with us. But in the middle of the night, she couldn't pass her blood sugar test. So so they kept coming in the middle of the night. They kept having to prick her foot to make sure that her blood sugar level was over 30. Wasn't it 30, right? I believe it was around the 30s. And she had to pass it. And if she failed it 3 times, then they would have had to take her to the NICU.
And I think that's the hardest part. That was the hardest part, being that, you know, we had her that night and we was able to
get that
comfort her and bond with her that first night. So it was kind of hard to let her go there.
Right.
I mean, it's hard regardless, but it's definitely hard once you done bond with her and you thinking that you're gonna take your child home and you really not. So
right.
That was kind of.
That's what it was. So that night, none of us really got any sleep because the nurses, if they're not checking on her, they're checking on the mom. So our sleep kept getting interrupted in the middle of the night, and every 3 hours they had to come in and check Samia blood sugar levels. And throughout that night, I don't think she passed any, probably besides 1. Like she only passed, I think, like 1 in the middle of the night. So about time the night nurse switched with the day nurse, that was around 7 a.m. The nurse checks me again. She failed her blood test. So I remember her specifically saying, you know, if she fails one more time, then she has to go to the NICU. So I'm like, okay. So we're trying to do everything we can to make sure that she passes, just whatever we can do. So I think I just had to use the restroom, and that's when the nurse came in, and you was in the room with the nurse and Samia. You don't remember? Okay, so I was in the restroom. The nurse came back in and shared some.
Oh yeah. Basically, she did. I think she checked her. She checked her blood sugar one more time, and then when she didn't pass it, she was like, "Well, she gonna have to go to the NICU."
And so then I came out. I think I heard NICU.
So when you came out, then that's when, you know, it was time to take her down there. And
boy,
I had to take her down there. So you wasn't able to take her. So I said I was gonna take her down there.
And I wasn't able to take her, not because I couldn't go down there, just because I couldn't stop crying.
Yeah, it was a bad situation. So
yeah.
I went down there, and I mean, it's hard. It's definitely harder when you get down there, because once I got down there, I was good at first, but once I got down there, I was like, I ain't like it, you know what I'm saying? So it was like, dang, I'm leaving my baby down here with these people. I don't even know these people, you feel what I'm saying? Like, even though they doctors or whatever, but I mean.
He went down there, and then I stayed up the room for like a couple minutes, and then you came back up. And he told me where they were and this and that, and I was like, okay. I'm still crying. So he got in the hospital bed with me for a minute, just like trying to calm me down, and then eventually he was like, I'm going back down there. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna go too. So then he was like, are you sure? I don't know if you want to go down there. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go. So we made it to the hallway. Like right when we was at the bus that left, I started crying again in the hallway. And I was like, I don't think I could do it. Da, 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 da. So then he was like, okay. So I waited. So I turned around, waited in the waiting room, and he was in there. But I just couldn't, like, I had to see her. So I just went and found my way anyway. I went down in there. I saw Roberto and the nurse, and then they was like, hey, mommy, you don't even like you just had a baby. Da, da, da. And when I saw Samia, I just started crying again. And then they was...
Yeah, because they had tied up all them too, and she was so small, man. Yeah.
They asked if we wanted to hold her. I think you already held her, though, did you? Because I remember I sat down.
Yeah, I had held her before you came, I think.
Yeah, so I sat down. Yeah, no, you had her in your arms already when they was pulling my seat up. So they brought me a seat. They put her in my arms, and no, I didn't know what to do. I don't know why babies do that. They know they're so tired, and then they fight their sleep, and then they're mad when they're up.
So she been in the NICU for about 5 days.
She was in there for 5 days. So we got induced on a Friday. We had her on Saturday, and she was in the NICU on Sunday. She didn't leave until that Thursday. Yes, that Thursday, because I got discharged on that Tuesday. So that was day 1. That was the first moment we was in the NICU with her, and then Roberto and the nurses had to like make me go back upstairs. So while I was upstairs, I still had to pump whatever I could and bring it down to the NICU so she'll have something to eat. Of course, they still had pre-bottles made, but the woman's breast milk and the colostrum is what is what you get before you actually get the breast milk. Is what they really need. So when I was like upstairs, like I would pump and do what I could, but I didn't really have much coming out at first because I just had it. It took time to come in and blah 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 blah. In the middle of the night, I remember in the middle of the night, the first night, and Roberto still stayed in the hospital, and it was the first night, and he was trying to make me go to sleep. Like, this is the first night without it, so he kept trying to make me go to sleep. So he tried laying in the bed with me, and then I went on the couch, that uncomfortable pull-out couch with him, but I could not stay up there. Like, I had to go see her. So what I did was I called the NICU down there. I probably called them like 100 times. Like, I'm just checking on Samia. I'm just trying to see if she's okay. What is she doing? It was like, she's okay. No update. She's still sleeping. We just tested her blood sugar level. She failed again. Just bad news after bad news. She just kept failing. I'm just like, or what will happen is she'll pass, and then I'm like, okay, cool, I'll be back down in the next couple hours for more colostrum, and then I'll bring it down to her, go back upstairs, call down again. They took her test again, then she failed. So it was just a lot of pass and failing. Like, it just was never ending. Roberto had to actually go back to work Monday. So he went to work. I went down to and Roberto and the nurses told me, don't be in that NICU all day. Make sure you get some rest. But I didn't. I went to the NICU and I was there all night, all day, all night, 8 hours, like consecutively. I only went upstairs back to my room like one time, and that was just to get the food, like to use the restroom. But I brought my pump downstairs. I brought everything downstairs because I knew I wasn't leaving. I literally held Samia the entire time I was down there. I would not lay her in the thing. Like, to where the nurses was like, I could hear them saying, yeah, mommy's been here all day. She's been holding her all day. She ain't went upstairs yet. To where my nurses that was checking on me was looking for me in my room, and I was never up there. I was always in the NICU. So they had to come down from upstairs to the NICU just to tell me, like, you know, this is when you get a discharge, or how are you feeling, and telling me all the protocol, blah, 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 blah. And so I remember this one incident. It was actually on Monday, and I went down there by myself. This is the second time I went down there this was the first time I went down there by myself. This is right after the shift changed to the night shift. And I went down there, and I heard, because Samia was like the first baby you saw. So I went down there, I saw Samia crying. I heard her crying. I immediately, didn't even check in or nothing, immediately went to her, picked her up. Mind you, the night nurses in the NICU don't know me. They don't know who I am. So I just picked her up, and one of the night nurses was like, hey, no, put her down. You can't do that. And I just immediately busted out crying. And then she immediately got so empathetic, like, no, why are you crying? And I just thought, I don't know why I'm crying. I'm sorry. She just looks so sad. She's by herself. And So I sat down. So she gave her back to me. She sat down, and the nurse literally sat with me for an hour and just talked to me and just comforted me and just made me feel better. And her name, I hate that I can't remember her name. I know it's somewhere in my phone, but she definitely like raised the bar for me. She definitely gave me a sense of comfort that I knew I needed from a nurse, a NICU nurse that was taking care of our baby. And so yeah, I remember that situation happened. I don't think I'll ever forget that situation. So like, what, 3 days has passed since Samia was in the NICU. Still feeling her blood sugar levels. They discharged me on Tuesday, so I was actually forced to leave at that point because I was supposed to get discharged Monday, but they let me stay till Tuesday because we thought Samia was going to get discharged on Tuesday because she was doing so well that day, but then she failed her last test. So of course she had to stay, and I had to go.
Once she got discharged, we done got everything, paid everything, and it was a hard situation to deal with. So, you know, I had to come from my wife and let her know, like, you know, she's gonna be all right. We need to go ahead to the house. And, you know, of course, we didn't want to leave her. You know, it was hard. But once we got here, we understood that we wasn't even ready for her to come home. Like, we had so much things to do, so much stuff to clean and to sanitize everything down and you know, get ready for her to come home. So that was kind of like a good bad feel. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, yeah, we do got to come here and clean up and everything and sanitize everything, get her ready to come home. But at the same time, we still didn't want to leave our daughter. You know what I'm saying? In the hospital. So I mean, we went up there every chance we got. Once I calmed her down or whatever, I always go back up there like on a break. You know what I'm saying? After I go to work, and then I go, whatever I got a break, I go up there, make sure she's straight.
Like none of my, the only person we let see her in the NICU was my parents, just because a NICU isn't a place for much visitors. So the only people we allowed on the list anyway was my parents, and then the rest of my family and his mom will be able to see her when she's actually home. Because of course no one expected her to have to go to the NICU. Well, I mean, that's a lie. It was always a possibility.
It's always a possibility, but you don't never really think, like, you don't,
that's gonna be your child.
Yeah, you don't really think that that's what's gonna happen to your kid, so.
When we got home, Roberto basically forced me to rest, because the whole time in the hospital I would not rest. I was told to by not just my parents and not just by him, but like the nurses, like it was important for me to rest because my feet were still so swollen. And I just, of course, I mean, I just gave birth, so my body is still trying to get back to how it was. And so he forced me to rest. Like when he went to work, like he made sure that I ate. We got food before we left. I took a shower, and I actually had to sleep. And he told me that I'm not going up to the NICU until I actually rest, because I refused to do it while I was actually at the hospital. So that was also a good thing that I was forced to go home, because if I didn't go home, I probably would have rested for 5 whole days, you know. When I woke up from my nap, I called the NICU like I did in the hospital, and I went to check on Samia. But the nurse that answered the phone, and she ended up turning out to be a sweet lady, but when I asked her about Samia, the way she came at me was, well, Samia failed again, so we're gonna have to put a feeding tube down her throat. I'm not really being empathetic to me or to my situation, and me not really knowing what that means. What you mean put a feeding tube down her throat? Like, I completely freaked out. Like, I'm answering all these questions, I'm freaking out, and she just not really giving me the compassion that I needed when she dropped that bomb on me. So when we disconnected the call, I immediately called him. I was like, baby, they're going to be too down her throat. Like, I'm freaking out. Like, he like, now I'm so glad we did this video now than before, because I probably would have been crying this whole time. But he's like, what you mean they put a feeding tube down her throat? How they gonna do that without our consent? And and then
like, that's the thing, man. Like, they do stuff and don't even let, like, they don't. I get it now, because you can't wait. Because that's like, for example, if I'm dying on the hospital bed, they can't wait for your consent if they give you a blood transfusion. So I get what they're saying. It's a life or death situation, but dang, give me. You gotta find a way. They gotta. I mean, they have to find. I ain't gonna say they had to, but I wish they would have gave us a better way of alerting us and letting us know what's up. Like,
that was the next, because we never knew that was a possibility.
That was a possibility. Ever. So when that popped up and been like, oh, we'll put a feeding tube down her throat, I'm thinking like, what the hell you mean a feeding tube? I don't know. I'm in my mind, I'm imagining like a big tube just going down her throat, like she's so small. So I'm like
an oxygen tank.
I ain't with that, you feel me? But then, so I went to the hospital.
He told me not to go, cause this is the thing. I said I'm about to go up there, like I'm in tears. Robbie slept for like an hour and a half. I'm like, I'm about to go back up there. I need to see what's going on. He was like, no, you're not going up there. I'll go up there. I just want to have it. I wasn't going up there with a clear mind
at all.
So then it was best if he went. So did you leave work, or you just ended up getting off early?
I had left work, and then I went up there. And then once I got up there and she pulled the tube out, it was a real small tube. So when I seen it, I was like, oh, okay, well, it ain't that bad, you know what I'm saying? So I sent the picture up to my wife. So we put the feeding tube down her nose, put it in her nose, and it went down her throat. She was hollering, but her little voice wasn't that loud, but you know, I had to hold her.
She only had to do it. She only used it one time.
And she put it down her nose or whatever, and kept it down her nose. So whenever she needed to eat, she can just put the tube on her and
let her finish. She had to reach how many milliliters she had to?
She had to get like 2.
And she really wasn't able to finish her bottle. So whatever she couldn't finish, because she had to drink a certain amount, whatever she couldn't finish, they would finish through the tube. But Samia only had to use that tube by the grace of God one time, and barely even had to use it then. So that was just for a precaution, just in case. So when my husband called me, he was like, listen, I sent you the picture, this is what it is, this is what we had to do. Like, it was better me hearing it from him than me hearing it from anybody else. So once he told me, and I was able to ask him all the questions that I needed, and then I was like, okay, I'm fine with that. I mean, I was still freaking out because it's like, I don't want my baby to have that. Like, isn't it hurting her? Is it irritating her? Da, 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 da. But he gave me that, like, assurance. It's okay. It's not hurting her. She's fine. And so forth and so on. And like I said, that nurse, not everyone is as, what I want to say, empathetic.
I mean, yeah, because the nurse, she was
sweet.
Cool,
yeah, once I got to know her.
She was so, like, she was...
Like...
It's like she had, like, she had like a poker face the whole time. It's
yeah.
like you couldn't even tell if she cared or she didn't care.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly.
So it was like she was straight to the point, you know what I'm saying? So the whole time we questioning her judgment because we like, we don't even know.
Yeah, you like, really care about my baby. Yeah.
And then it's hard to believe if she did, especially when you compare her to other nurses there that's doing their job and like being just being there for us, like
yes, it's like going back
showing
to the
sympathy and just
yes, going back to that NICU nurse that said that she sat with me for an hour. She did not have to do that. When she saw like, okay, this is so new, and then she even she was so relatable because she was able to share her story. So when her baby was in the NICU, so he handled it. Let me tell you something. It's so important, and that's why I thank God for my husband, because if I didn't have him and if I didn't have his support, because he was literally the stronghold and the backbone for the both of us. Like, he literally lifted me up when I could not even stand up. That's how weak I felt literally when this situation was happening. When you don't have that support, it's so much harder to go through. But because I had his support and continue to have his support, because I have never felt like that in my life, then it's gonna help you get through the situation. So you just have any type of support. If you don't even, you know what I'm saying? Even if you don't have that significant other that needs to be there for you, that's not any family, any friend, anyone that'll be able to be your, your safe haven or whoever. That's very important, especially when you go through a situation like that, because it was extremely traumatizing. And it was for him too. He handled his emotions like I knew he would. So that's why I continue to show appreciation to him because of that. Because that is not an easy situation to go through at all. Like, no matter how big or how small. NICU babies can be in there for months at a time. Our baby was only in there for 5 days. And it felt like...
Yeah, because there's some babies in there that's been in there for like almost a year.
Yeah. And that's...
change. Being in there kind of showed me like... It's like it could have been a lot worse, but it's still not a good feeling no matter how severe the situation is. Having your child to go through that, so small, whether it's small or big, you know what I'm saying, it's not a good feeling. But it was some families in there that couldn't even touch their child. Like they had to put their hand through the box with gloves just to touch their child, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I can only imagine how that felt. You know what I'm saying? You don't really understand it until you go through it.
Exactly.
And then you understand, like, yo, that's a big situation. That's a hard situation to deal with.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
we want to give the disclaimer that if you do have any specific questions that we could have left out in the video, please do not hesitate to ask us in the comments. Hit us up on our social media, because it'll always be in the description box. And if you just have a similar situation, if you just need advice, men or women, come to either one of us. We'll be able to share, you know, our story, or give you a little bit more insight on when this happened, or why that happened, or if that happened, if it's pertaining to your situation. But again, if anyone is currently going through this right now, if you do have any child in the NICU right now, I just want to let you guys know that we're praying for you guys. We don't take it lightly, and we know everything's going to be okay. Like I said, if y'all need anyone to talk to, you know, hit us up. Our DMs are always open. We're always willing to respond to you guys. Do you have anything? Thank you guys for watching this video. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, the like button. Don't forget to comment, turn on your notification bell.
And all that good stuff.
Again, she was born 4 pounds 12 ounces. Now she's 17 pounds 15 ounces. And
So-
she will be 7 months in 3 days. So yeah, we just wanted to share this story with you guys, really just for encouragement. And to be a little bit transparent with you guys about our life, and that we got through it. The storm was over, and didn't think we was gonna get through that storm. I did not think we was gonna see the light at the end of the tunnel, but we did. So yeah, that's it. Anything else?
Well, thank you for watching. And we'll see you on the next video.